Okay, grade 5, get out your printing blocks and your Linocut tools. It's time to start printing. I'm going to do a heart, so usually I would cut it out of paper first so that when I trace it, it's nice and symmetrical. If you're going to do a shape that is a circle, you might want to trace something so that you get a perfect circle. It doesn't matter what shape you use, but you want it to be something very simple, at least to start with. So I've traced that there. Now I'm going to select a Linocut tool. They come in different shapes. You need to pick the one that works best for you. So it carves really easily. What I do first is I carve along the outside edge of the shape that I'm using. This one is a square, one of the square carving tools. So I go along the outside edge, and then as soon as I've done that, I'm going to start carving away all the background. You don't necessarily have to do this. You could create some sort of pattern in your background as well, but I kind of like the look of just the shape on the print. So then I'm going to put a piece of paper over it and rub it with a crayon so I can see what the print might look like. I can see that some of the background is still showing up a little bit too much for my liking, so I'm going to go back in and carve some of that away again. The crayon rubbing really kind of lets you know what's going to happen before you start printing. So then I'm going to use a brayer and some printing ink, and we're going to start printing. We're going to be printing 3 different times using the same block. So we're going to use a bench hook to start with. In this case, we're using yellow. Every class is going to have different colors, but you're always going to start with the lightest color first. So in this case, it is yellow. Once I have the ink on the brayer, I'm going to roll it over my printing block. And we're going to make multiple prints on the same piece of paper. So you want to make sure that you mark the corners so that you can line them up later when you print the different colors on. And we're going to be multiple prints on one piece of paper. You can arrange them however you like. They can be sort of haphazard or in a line. That's up to you. Now what I won't need to do is I'm going to cut away everything that I want to stay yellow. It's a good idea to have a plan when you do this. So I'm going to draw my design onto my heart so I know what I'm doing. And then I'm going to grab my carving tool again, and I'm going to start carving away all the things that I want to stay yellow. Again, remember, do not carve towards your hand. And you want to keep an even pressure on there. All right, let's quickly get that done. Next color we're going to use is blue. Now, blue on yellow, I wonder what's going to happen there. All right, so once again, ink up the brayer and roll it over top of your printing block. And then using those pencil lines to line up the work, you're going to print right on top of that yellow heart. So let's give it a go. Let's see what happens. Line up those pencil marks, use the brayer, and ta-da! Not quite so blue anymore, a little more green than blue. Now we have to cut away everything that we want to stay that green color. So let's think about this and make a plan and then carve away everything that you want to stay green. Be really careful because you don't want to mess it up at this point and accidentally carve someplace you don't want to. Always remember to keep the pointed part of the carving tool up, pointing towards the ceiling. And then you're just going to carve away. Carving. Almost there. Now I'm going to use some black ink. Get it on my brayer. And ink up my printing block. Line up those pencil lines. And before you know it, ta-da, there we go. And you're going to do that. Repeat that each time for each of the hearts that you've, or shapes, whatever shape you've done on your paper. I think this looks pretty darn good. You can still see some of the lines from the background. That's okay. I sort of like it somehow, but if you had wanted to, you could have cleaned those up.